Alrighty, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Practice Cursive. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Diego Irigoyen. If this is your first time here, we practice some cursive every morning. And Monday through Friday, you can catch me here 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're practicing cursive in the style commonly known as Palmer, historically known as business cursive, and we're finding the most practical way to go about that. So if you're interested in handwriting, if you're interested in cursive handwriting, then you are in the right place, because this is where we do it. This is where we do that. All right. I'm a little tired. I had a little bit of a late night yesterday, later than normal. And it might show on my face. So if it does, no judgment, right? No judgment. So yesterday was National Handwriting Day, and I wanted to share with you guys a little video that I made in honor of National Handwriting Day. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that really quick. Just a short little video that I made for Instagram. And it's actually going to be a part of a little bit of a longer video that I'll release today. I also made a different video, and that one was for YouTube, and I tried to release it yesterday, but I got caught up, and then I had to go to dinner with some friends yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to release it yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and put it through the render and then put that out later today. But I'll go ahead and share with you this little teaser for what's to come. It's an important day because, oh shoot, it's Carly Lake. Carly Lake is here. And it's an important day because handwriting is important, and it's a day that advocates for handwriting. So if you didn't do any handwriting yesterday, then you get a second chance today to do some with me. That includes you, Carly Lake. You missed it. I was already talking about how I probably look tired because we were out late. Do I look tired? Be honest with me. So Tuesdays and Thursdays we handwrite with the right hand. You're doing the dishes. Oh, that's riveting stuff. Same as always. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, we write with the right hand. Monday, Wednesdays, we write with left hand. So today is a right-handed day. And then yesterday, there was a great treat. For anybody who's interested in business cursive and movement, David Grimes and Michael Gebhardt did a live stream on Instagram where they talked about movement-based penmanship and practicality behind it, and your normal handwriting versus the calligraphic writing and some of those differences. And that was really interesting and thought-provoking. And that made me think about what style of handwriting would be most practical to advocate for. And I've also been thinking a lot about the integration of writing utensils into technology, and how the pen and the tablet is becoming more popular. And I heard that it was actually becoming very popular among business people. So people who are working in some businesses and they have to do work for business, they're enjoying the ability to take notes by hand again on a tablet. So I was thinking about how technology is now kind of offering us the opportunity to reintegrate some of these more analog practices, such as handwriting, into our life. And I was thinking about it also in relation to VR and how the VR experience could reintroduce almost a face-to-face like interaction, where instead of you're typing onto a screen to communicate, you're communicating through words again, and you're looking at somebody virtual, albeit, but you're communicating through words, which would I think help people in their ability to share their emotions and communicate. But I think handwriting is important, and it's important not to lose that as a culture. So that's National Handwriting Day, and if you're interested, I think you can still watch that live stream on Instagram that David Grimes did for, I think they did it at 4 o'clock yesterday, so you should be able to watch it till 4 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time. And that's something like 9 hours. You got 9 hours to watch it. And then it disappears forever, because that's the way Instagram works on the stories and the live streams. So we're going to do a little bit of handwriting. It's National Handwriting Day. Yesterday, in honor of that. We've been working on the letter V, actually. So we can turn to the letter V in our business writing manual. Another thing that I thought that Michael Gebhardt said that was interesting is that he recommends that if you're working on business cursive, to not just stick with the one manual you found or you find interesting, to read them all, because they're all talking about the same technique, but you get to experience it in different perspectives through the different teachers of that subject. I've been, has anybody used a Pilot Falcon before? I've decided I was going to try to ink dropper this pen, so I took the converter out. There's not enough ink capacity. But now the problem is that the ink, it's not spilling out the back end or anything, but it gets in the cap. And then the section and the nib are always covered in ink. And the next thing I know, my hands are covered in ink. So I've been trying to solve that problem, but I can't seem to get it. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm noticing something here. Desktop audio is not being picked up. Oh, that's why. That's why. Let's try it again. Okay. Jason Kim, how long do you usually warm up for? Hello, Noritaka2. It depends. Sometimes I wake up and don't need to warm up too long. Sometimes I enjoy the warming up for an extended period of time because I'm really kind of focusing on the movement. If we turn the page, the particular angle, 52 degrees, will become a 90 degrees. So it's just a vertical line we have to learn as our main stroke. Not entirely sure what you mean. So my angle here, and you can see this in the movement cam as well, but my angle here, this downward pulling, is going towards the center of my chest. So this is kind of like a point of reference. So I try to avoid angling my paper too dramatically. This downstroke is pretty important though, so I would consider it a main stroke. But there are several others. So the compact ovals, I guess direct and indirect are also rather important. And I would say that the curving motion is even more important. So put the phone on silent. So what we want from this is we want a low exit stroke on the V. So something more along the lines of like around here. Kind of like this one, but we want to make sure that we don't go below the baseline. That's pretty good. I'm going to make sure that's rounder at the bottom, not too pointy. It's better. So I really like this V here. I'm pretty sure that I should be trying to make this smaller loop much smaller. But I kind of like the look of a big loop like that. You can balance it out. But these two right here are pretty good. But yeah, that loop is just too big, I think. That's a pretty good one right there. I think actually this is the best one. That's pretty good. Do you care the 52-degree angle? In my opinion, it is really hard to learn it as muscle memory. You know, I can't say that I'm too specific with my angle in general. I don't, like I'm not checking with my angle here to see if it's 52 degrees or looking back at my writing. I can generally, like by eye, tell whether or not I've hit the angle. See, like for example, you know, you can kind of tell where it's off. Like this one here was a little bit off, is a little bit slanted too far forward. I think this one too, this first one here. So I just readjusted. But yeah, like generally, I try to angle my paper so the corners across the page, more or less pointed towards my chest as well. Yes, this is, well, I think it's technically called the Pilot Falcon over here in the United States, but yes, it's the same as the Namiki. It's an extra fine point, so that's why I like to use it for penmanship practice. And I have some Pelikan Smoky Quartz ink inside. Let's go back a little bigger. It's really impressive. Maybe a 0.1 millimeter as a dip nib. Is it not toothy or scratchy on the paper? Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's too scratchy. It's pretty smooth actually, but I've also used a little bit of Mylar paper to polish the nib, so it's a little smoother than it maybe came when I bought it. But I also bought it on Amazon, so some of the pens that I've gotten on Amazon haven't been like very good out of the box. So, but this one was fine. And I think I polished it a little bit to help with a little bit of scratchiness. But yeah, it's great. It's the finest point that I have in all of my pens. I also have this TWSBI with an extra fine nib, but the nib on this one is German, I believe, and the extra fine just isn't as fine as the Namiki. So I do prefer the Falcon. The only thing is that the converter doesn't hold that much ink, so I've been trying to use it as an eyedropper, and it's been working well enough. It doesn't spill or anything out of the back end, but this section is always covered in ink, and ink leaks out into the cap quite a bit. Well, that's a little bit of a bummer, but other than that, it's great. I want the bottom to be rounder. I want to get a point there. Yeah, I got the loops in the E this time. Is any part of your right hand touching the ground? Or the table, you must mean. My fingers, the ring and the index finger, do glide on the page. I don't rest them down. I just let them sit on top of the page and kind of slide around on them. Yes, it can be very difficult, and it does take a lot of time to develop the skill. So one thing that I got from the live stream with Michael Gebhardt and David Grimes is that Michael especially is extremely proficient in this style, but he says that he focuses a lot on the movement and doesn't allow himself to mindlessly do the drills. So when you're practicing, I would recommend that you really kind of sit down and really inspect the movement and really get into how it feels and whether or not you can optimize that sensation, even if it goes away from what is said in the manuals, because all of our bodies are a little bit different. We're all going to have to, in a way, kind of create our own style. And Michael says that if he's working on a particular letter, that he might create a new drill for that particular letter so that he can better understand the movement for that letter. I think that was great advice, and something I'm trying to keep in mind now when I'm practicing as well. So hopefully you might find that helpful, Jason. Maybe we can squeeze a couple more here at the bottom. Yeah, you're welcome, Jason. I hope you find it helpful. I'm still learning myself. I wouldn't consider myself an expert yet, but it's a very interesting and fun practice. L's are so tough. I get that round portion on the L just right. And the E too, I've noticed that E following an L in particular is really challenging. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah, we've been working on it for a little bit of time, but it's still got a lot of work to do, especially consistency-wise. I think for ordinary handwriting, if you're just gonna write for the sake of writing, it doesn't have to be picture perfect, but and you know, there's a very practical way to go about it that's just very spontaneous and intuitive, and you don't have to worry about all the details so much. You just have to worry about your writing being legible. I think that should be the main focus of anybody at first, especially with this style of writing, since it's intended to be practical. staying on screen? Move the camera over a little. Okay, that should be better. Good morning, Sonu. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so on the topic of slant, just did these 3 or 4 in a row, and you can see that the first 1, 2, 3 all have more or less that same slant. And as I reached the edge of my writing zone, this one here had a more dramatic slant, like drastically different. This one's more like this here. But anyways, this one on the edge, so if this is why you move the paper along as you're writing, because as you get to the edge of your writing zone, you can't quite keep the same slant as you normally would, or you can't reach as far, and so you want to move the paper. Your left hand will move the paper for you, and your right hand will write, or vice versa if you're left-handed. And that's the collaboration that's taking place between hands. It's really important. Just little detail helps make your writing experience more practical, more fluid. Jeez, those ascenders, man, they just get me. Suck.
Cherries, major run. No one had a run like limes. No one.
What are my favorite inks? Waterman has been kind of my favorite ink since I started writing. More because of how practical it is. So it works on all kinds of paper. I never really have to worry about Waterman ink spilling out into other, or spilling through paper, or bleeding too much. It always works really well. I used it a lot when I was in college. Well, actually, I don't think I ever got to use it in college. I used it for dip pens in college, but I never used it for fountain pen writing. But yeah, I mean, I used to take a lot of notes by hand because I was a teacher, so Waterman inks were always really reliable. That's why I like them. I can't say I'm like really that into colors actually with ink. I think I have like 2 blues, a brown, a green. I think that's it. Oh, and I have black. I have a Waterman black. I just finished a Waterman blue. Oh, I also have like an iron red color. It's a diamine ink. But the diamine ink tends to be very absorbent and leaks into the paper, and you have a lot of feathering with the diamine. That's that turquoise blue that I use in some of the other streams is also diamine. Diamine marine blue. Get those last few lines, I'll turn the paper over. And because my 2 fingers, my ring and my pinky finger, touch the paper, it's actually easier to have those touching the paper rather than the leather pad because it glides more smoothly on paper. So I've seen other people, what they'll do is they'll take a second sheet of paper and they'll put it under the one they're working on, and that will be kind of like where their hand or their fingers slide. So another thing that might help you, Jason. Do you have a favorite ink, Jason? Sailor Tokiwa Matsu. Is that from the same sailor that makes the pens? Yeah, I really like Sailor pens. I've always wanted one. Those are really pretty pens. Dark green. And my girlfriend got an avocado ink, or avocado colored ink. It's not made of avocados, but I really like that dark green color too. I don't have any dark greens myself. This window is covering the chat a little. Sailor pens have really fine, extra fine nibs with unique feedback when writing. Oh, that's good to know. I've also heard that the platinum pens, Sailor's Japanese, right? Is it a Japanese company that makes those pens? I think the Japanese by far make the finest pens, finest point pens, I should say. But yeah, now that I know that about a Sailor, I want one even more. Those L's, just so hard. Should have been something more like that, maybe. Okay, guys, we're nearing the end here. Okay, so Palmer in his book says that V's, capital V, you should be able to make 55 V's in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I should do a test here. See how many can I get in a minute. All right, I'm gonna start in 2, 1, go. Okay, I got a couple more seconds. Okay. I think actually I have another second, but let's count how many that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it was 47. We did 47 in a minute, 60 seconds. 47 times in 60 seconds. Now let's count how many of these I would actually like. I could live with that one. Kind of like that one too. 3, 4, and I was noticing, it's so funny, like, you know, you do something and you just kind of do it intuitively, and then you tell yourself in your head, I want to make it smaller, and it gets smaller. It's crazy. Like right here, I told myself in my head, you know, you need to make that first loop smaller, and that's what happened. Hello, Sarab. Thank you for making it today. So we got, so far we have like 3 or 4. And then ones that I like, kind of like this one over here. These ones are really fine, and I was really impressed with the fact that I was able to even get a curve on that bottom. This one's kind of cool too, but I don't think it's very legible. I like this one. I do like this one also. It's kind of losing its form as a V though, like this loop is too dramatic. And it's so funny, I noticed I was doing this also, and I told myself in my head to make it smaller, and look what happened to the next one. I really like that one. That one I would pass. See, this loop is a little large here. This one's much better. I didn't even finish the stroke there. I could live with that. Didn't touch the baseline, but it's okay. Alright, so out of the 47 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So basically 1 out of 4 when I'm going at speed. Alright, let's do one more minute, and then this time I'm just gonna try to do as many good ones as I can and not worry about speed. Okay. And 1, go. Oh, we passed a minute. Okay. So this time we only did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 1, 2. So we did 32. Let's see how many we could actually be proud of. I would live with that. Slant is way off on this one. I was feeling it. I like that one too. 3, 4. This one's a little too narrow on the top. You can see how it kind of like curves back in. Okay, that one's okay. All right, can you see what I'm looking at? I like that one. I like the shape on the V here, but I don't like that this loop wasn't closed. Okay. You can see the slant is off on this one. I didn't get any really good ones here at the end. At least the last one was good. Okay, so then out of 32, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 32. I think we're still at 1/4. It's, yeah, I mean, it was slower. We did less, but we're still at 1 out of 4. All right. So we made a 25% progress today. That's no worries, Sarab. Thank you so much for joining, regardless. Thank you for joining me as well, Jason. I hope everyone has had a wonderful morning. Before I take off today, I just wanted to read some comments from the last video. I thought I'd make this a thing, so if you guys do comment on the videos, on the playback, I'll go ahead and read them aloud. Oh, what is this? Okay, took me here for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing, sorry. Okay, here's the comment. Said, thank you for writing the pangram. This is from Sean Brown, who requested the pangram yesterday. And said, thank you. I very much wanted to see all the letters in your penmanship. See it written mirror image was a real treat. Oh yeah. That was fun too. That was a good pangram. Pangram? Yeah. Oh, he talks about that also. He left another comment. And then he said, I've been using your whole arm technique. It's not mine. It's a technique that's it's a historical penmanship technique developed here in the United States. But he says that he has found it helped his block printing and his cursive. Yeah, so once I learned about whole arm movement, I started to incorporate it in different things as well, such as printing. And just a little bit of whole arm movement goes a long way in improving your writing experience. You don't have to make it your primary source of movement. You know, you can incorporate it in with finger movement and other things as well. He says he also started left-hand mirror writing yesterday. The drills and trying to write my name. Got a lot of work. And he says I'm inspiring and a good mentor. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. He watched all my videos for the capital letters A through T, but didn't find the one for U through Z. Yes, so the the last series, oh, I could play that for you once more, Jason. The last series of the Palmer Method capital letters will be coming out probably in a couple weeks or so. I'm still working on V, and then I'll move on to W, X, Y, and Z. So I've got a few letters to go before that video will come out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate your time. He has another comment here. He says, where is it? Oh, no, that's not it. What am I looking at here? Also, I thought it was pronounced pangram. Why can't I see the comment? Well, he might have deleted the comment and we can't see it anymore. But anyways, let's go ahead, play for you, Jason, the video from Instagram. So the audio from the video may have been combating with the music a little bit, but yeah, you can go in the description. I think if you click on my profile, you can watch the video without having an Instagram profile. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I just try to do a video. I try not to think about too much in that video in particular. I just wanted it to be just quick handwriting rather than, you know, really spending time getting the perfect one. Just, and luckily I got it on the first go on that sheet. So I was like, oh, wow, we'll just leave it at that then. Yeah, we'll be posting a video today, a little bit later, and it's just me going through a writing sample. So you guys will get to see that. Actually, I won't even show you. I'll leave it for the video. But it will also have the National Handwriting Day clip in the beginning of that video. So we're gonna close out there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. And we'll be back tomorrow with another session practicing cursive in the morning. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.